Here we are. It is time for What's in My Drawers Golf Talk. We got a visitor today to talk to, and let's talk about what we put our clubs into today on What's in My Drawers. Welcome back. Jim McCleary here, six-time top 100 Golf Digest club fitter. And let's just start off with the pros. Sam Burns. You guys get to watch any of that last tournament. The went into sudden death, and the way that Sam Burns is a back-to-back winner, and the way he won was he chipped one in. The dude was making putts from 30 and 40 feet everywhere, and ended up chipping one in to win. Congrats to him. Congrats to the guy that went in there is Mike Riley, I think it was. Davis Riley. And he was just on fire too. He was just the opposite end. The driver was just out of control good. So there was that. So we got that. I'm not going to show you any pictures of what was going on for the last week, just because there was a few builds. Mostly I did fittings. We did nearly 20 fittings this week, and from every shape and size. So we're going to talk a little bit about fittings more importantly, and how we did this. We were able to fit a young man who's number 6 in the state in West Virginia. Another young lady who is getting into the game. So we're at both spectrums. 63-year-old man, the first 63-year-old man I ever met that had a mohawk. And I'm just jealous that the man actually had hair to make a mohawk. So that worked out pretty good. And amongst other things, it was really cool. We'll kind of go through some of the results. And to let you know, our visitor for the day is Matt Revlock. And we will get in there and we will do it right. There he is. So we'll make it bigger. Woohoo! There we go. So, and Matt came down for a visit and got to play Crown Hill, where I get to play, and underscored me by 7 to 8 shots right out of the box. So not too bad. So we're saying that's the reason why you don't see Matt in all the comments just yet, because he's here.
I'm here.
So what'd you think, Matt? What was Crown Hill all about?
It was one of the most unique courses I have played here in the state of Ohio. The elevation change was dramatic. It reminded me, not that I've ever played golf in Hawaii, but it was like what they always say about Kapalua, the plantation course,
right? Where
the short holes are all uphill and always tend to go into the wind, and the long holes are downhill and going with the wind. So it was just a very unique experience. I don't know if I could walk it. Being a person who walks golf all the time, I probably wouldn't be able to, but...
Welcome to mountain golf here, you flatlander.
It is, yes.
And that's in the state of Ohio, there is a bit of a break, right? Right about the Columbus line. If you go straight across the state, the bottom end of the state is very mountainous, where it plateaus out because you're going towards the lakes. Mm-hmm. And it's just what it is. And so we call it mountain golf down here and flatlanders up there. And the advantages to both, to be sure, but I don't think we fight the wind as much as he would as when you're up north, when you're getting it off the lake and stuff. So some different stuff that was going on. And my favorite is, that was number 1, 2, 3, 4, that par 3 that you kind of shoot in between the trees. Do you like that dip in the middle?
Yes.
That was so the owner of the course said, I asked him, how did he get it designed? And he said it was nothing that God and Jack didn't provide. And I said, well, I get the God part. What about Jack? And he says, well, it was Jack Daniels.
No.
And that's the reason why he got that curve in the bottom of the thing. So that was pretty cool. All right. So we got Sam. So want to show you guys some stuff. I'm looking down over here, but Sun Mountain. I'm a Sun Mountain guy. Devin is our rep. And I got a new bag. I got 2 new bags, actually. And this is the camo bag. Now, for you guys, this is the C130 camo bag. And this is, it's got the It's got a magnetic pocket, so you can get into here. Plus a little, a little quick storage pocket. Your webbing goes through there for the seat, right? Whoop, we'll get back here. There we go. And then you have places for the pins. I've never used that, but you get out here, you get the American flag, and it's rubberized, plus three pouches, plus a place to hang your glove up in here and your towels here. Now the other part right here that you guys can see, that's another place just to stick your gloves, right? That's pretty cool. And then big pouches, cooler, right? Just a big old cooler. And then the other part that I like is the dual straps for the cart. So you put these on the buckets or the baskets in the back. So in case that belco lets go, that holds the strap across, lets go, these don't let go. And then you get the U.S. flag. The one that was last year was a desert camo. And this one is more of a forest camo, more of an army setup than say a Afghanistan kind of set. Very, very nice. And it's got that kind of a canvasy kind of feel, right? So Matt's on the other side. I mean, you can just see what it looks like. And then I've got another red, white, and blue C-130 stand bag. It's a one strap carry. It's got the legs on it. It's got all the pouches that C-130S has got. Now this one doesn't have the big top like the other one did. It's got more of a zipper pouch here and then more with the American flag right there. So Sun Mountain does a pretty good job. 13 dividers all the way up and down. And just really easy. It's just really easy to put in the trunk. I've carried one for almost 10 years now, and they've been top notch with everything that's going on. So if you guys ever had that need for a bag, I'd say give Sun Mountain a look and see, because tons of colors, tons of opportunities, tons of carry options. They got a 2.5, 3.5, 4.5, and 5.5, and those are all about the weight. And really what it comes down to is how many dividers on the top you get, right? So we've got that one. Last bit with fittings, and then we'll just get into questions and answers. This will be the fun part. The part with the fittings, we went through a significant amount of fittings this week. And the funny part is that not one, and this is the beauty of it, not one real iron stood out. I think I pretty much went through, Callaway, if you're truly just interested in distance, the Callaway Rogue ST Max. That was it. It's a very strong club, a little bit of offset, nice sole. It goes far. Now, the Pro model work came into play a couple of times. We actually went through quite a bit of the Mizunos with the 223s for the young man who's from West Virginia, some 225s, and then the Srixon and the ZX4s, which was the very forgiving club, and the ZX5s. So we're going right around. And as you guys are getting ready to ask me, I know it's coming. I've just got, in fact, I should show you. If I can get, it's not here, it's in there. It's the Wilson launch pads. Came out, if you want. It's right there by the very first thing that you walk into. Right there, very first thing's on the floor. Straight, keep going. Right there, it's a Fairway and a hybrid. So I got two launch pads, and I got the Fairway and I got the hybrid. I don't have the iron yet, and I don't know why. But when we get it, it's going to get into the testing mode right away. So here's the hybrid. All right, there's the hybrid. And if you look, it's got the little mirrored image. It's got the LP for launch pad. And this is the gray with some of the green. All right, we see the night. Look, it's so shiny you can see my screen in it. All right, it comes with the even flow green. And a nice, I believe it's a Tour Velvet type grip. Very, very nice. And these are draw bias clubs, right? They're draw bias. And there's the Fairway wood, right? This looks, it's just real clean. Just really, really clean. And again, it's sporting an even flow as well. And then the Wilson grip. So they are coming around. Look at this. We'll just hold them right there. So they are coming around. And I believe when the D9 Ford hits the streets, it's going to be it's just going to run up and just run away with a few folks. So there's what we have of that. So, and I I went through just about every shape and consideration of shaft one could come with. It was just crazy, from anywhere from a very lightweight graphite to the most heaviest steel that I had. So fittings are important, right? You want to get the right stuff in your bag so you can enjoy golf. There's the point of this whole discussion. All righty. So here we go. Let's get started. Mike Pett, our bud from Buffalo, he played his first round of the season and shot a 78. Shot a 78. Can you suggest any hybrids that fit fairly neutral at address? I was looking at the new Mizuno. Neutral at address, Mike. So there's a couple. Mizuno CLK is not new, but it is a very, very good little hybrid. You've hit it, right?
Yes.
Have you hit it?
Mm-hmm.
And he throws it out into the yard pretty good with the hybrids. Mm-hmm. And then the other one the new Rogue Pro would be another one to take a look at. It'll be a little bit shorter by design, but the other ones out there. We do have some Srixons and we do have the other ones, but I think they have a tendency to just close just a tiny bit. But those would be the ones I go with. Now the shafts that go in them, I'm sure will be different for you, but the Tensai Blue and the Tensai Red are actually pretty good choices for those in the 70 gram. So there we go. We got Krister. He's saying hello from Sweden. I saw you putting on the indoors there on the I think it was Instagram or Facebook. He's got one of those putting mats that's got the graduated things, and he was standing open. He was standing open and hitting these putts, and he without a cup there.
Okay.
And he had all the golf balls just touching each other while he's going.
That's a good problem to have.
Yeah, no doubt, right? So here we go. Here we go. Danny had a bad day at the course today. 45 for 9 holes. Couldn't do anything right. Hooks, slices. I know it's early in the season. Tomorrow is another day. Except for Matt when he goes out and shoots a 70 on a foreign course on the very first time around. So what was the strength, do you think? Were you getting out there, or was it a little bit of everything getting around?
I would say I hit a lot of greens in regulation. Front nine was kind of like, I would call it tricked up. I didn't know where to go, so I had to plan it really good. Back nine was right in front of you, so all you had to do was just get it out there and pick your number. Because if you were going uphill, I added a club and a half, and if I was going downhill, I got rid of 2 clubs. So I was hitting a lot of pitching wedges, a lot of 9-irons into the greens. So
I've shown you guys multiple pictures from what was number 12 when we're looking out and over. Yeah. How far? So now I got proof. So how high do you think that was in elevation compared to the fairway? How far?
When I stood on there, because we couldn't go up there. They had the back tee closed.
Right.
So we had to play from the front of the front tee, which was kind of made the hole kind of easier. But I couldn't give you an estimate, but that was I think Sally got a picture. I think my wife got a picture of it. And it was like.
So I'm here to tell you, when you go up there, the cart is virtually like this going up.
Yes.
So it's I always say I'm at least 4 stories up in the air.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
And so that was pretty cool. All righty. All right. Krister says he ordered a 34-inch Odyssey White Hot RX 2-ball V-line. Had one 4 years ago. It was only 32, so a little short. Very cool. The V-line. Man, you're bringing – Krister's going – he's going old school on these putters. He had the old Wilson, almost 8802. Man. Charles Bartholomew says hi. So you can tell him he shot a 70, Charlie, and it was in nice weather. I think it got to about 72 today.
Yeah.
And it was not too bad. Oh, here we go. Krister said he put a Jumbo Max ultralight extra small grip on his driver. The grip is like 8 grams less than a standard grip. The swing went up to 7.5, but doesn't feel heavy at all. Now, Matt's a big Jumbo Max fan, big-time fan. Yes. And he's got the heavier ones.
I have and my driver and my 2 hybrid are the small and medium, and then all the other ones are extra small and small. So I think so they think they rain down
Right.
correctly, but you can just feel it right where I want to feel it, right in where the grip is.
So that helped for the way that, and the funny part is we're getting ready to get started, and I have them sitting over here. I was going to show Matt. We haven't ran out of time. Anyway, we talked with Jumbo Max, and we're going to have a video getting started. So Jumbo Max was talking to me at the PGA show, and they said, you can gain 4 miles an hour with the driver with the right grip, right Jumbo Max grip. I threw the flag on him. I said, there's no way. And he says, oh, yeah, we see it all the time. And I said, well, how are you going to prove that? And he says, well, we got this fitting bag. Well, he's got this big, ginormous staff bag with it's got to be 50 shafts in this thing. I'm like, dude, there's nobody going to buy this whole thing for 50 shafts just to test a grip. He says, well, what do you think? And so we sat down and we kind of scribed it out. And I said, send me 11. And he goes, really? And I said, I think I can do it in 11.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, but I'm only going to do irons. And he says, what? And he says, it's not as cool without the driver. I said, granted, but if I can get swing speed with the iron, then it'll happen with the driver. Okay. So then I called Acura, and Acura's was really interested in it. So they sent me 11 of the same shaft to put in there. So we've eliminated at least the shaft and the weight and the flex because it's all the same. So now it's all about, let's test the grip. So we can test if size matters, if size matters and weight matters into the grip, and getting into this and then kind of taking that out. So if you guys are in the Ohio area and we've got a little bit of time, we'll put you through it. I'm still figuring out what goes where, but I'm set up and ready to go. So that'll be fun. All right. Charles is talking about a new putter to Krister. There's Kurt Evans. Oh, we'll be seeing Matt testing some. Will we be seeing Matt testing some sticks? I don't know. We'll see if we can clear it out fast enough.
Yeah. That 18 holes really took it out of me this morning.
It's really kind of a challenge when you don't know where you're putting the ball. You really mentally you get kind of worn out, don't you?
Yeah.
I think I'd like to see you try and hit the Rogue Triple Diamond.
Oh, jeez.
The Rogue Triple Diamond. So again, so starting from right here, if you guys would like and subscribe, hit the like button down below, subscribe, hit the bell, all that stuff, and that way we get more. You'll get more of the videos. And I'm getting really, really close to 25,000. That was really the game, and then we'll take it from there. But the video that's going to come out tomorrow is I reviewed the Rogue ST driver line, and I broke it down because I didn't have time to really hit too many in the first review. So I just did the Max and the Max D in one review, and I did the LS and the Triple Diamond in the other one. And the marketing, they're not, I mean, these guys aren't stupid, but a lot of them do what they say they're going to do. But from being a ball striker and you like the smaller head, you very well may actually like the Rogue ST Triple Diamond. It goes. But if you miss, you pay. So there it is. All right. Krister's saying, yes, it worked well last time, but was short. I have a few more older putters that I will order later. McGregor's 5K Bobby Grace putter and Ping Tess. Daggone, man, you're gonna have to make
you organize all
that. You're gonna be there. All right, so PZ, sadly I missed your show this evening. I'm walking in to do an APXG fitting right now. Well, let him hit him straight, buddy. Let him straight. Mr. Pulaski is saying hope Robin's recovery is coming better. That's a good one. So here's one for you, Stephen. So last night, Robin goes, the bandage is too tight. Bandage is too tight. I'm like, why? He says, I'm getting zapped. I'm getting the zap, right? I said, that's the tendons trying to heal back up, and they're telling you they're working. And of course, I didn't want to mess with the bandage is the reason why. But so she goes and looks it up, and sure enough, that's what it says, that you get the zap, that it's the tendons healing up. So way to go, Dr. Dad.
Yes. Nice job.
Yeah, right. Okay, here we go. No, I will have time to hit, or we'll have time to hit balls on Friday with the new grip on the driver, the Jumbo Max on the 200s before testing. All right, here we go. Matt Adorno, Adorno, Adorno. There we go. Got it. Want to know if there's anything different, any different fittings a beginner versus a more experienced player would do. What do you think?
I don't know, I would think they would fall into the same. You might have to coach them up a little bit, like you were talking about with the young lady that you had in. But the whole goal of it is to figure out what length is correct and the whole fitting process. So
Right.
yeah.
So the process itself, Matt, is pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Okay. However, I'll put this with the caveat with the double, air quotes going on. If you were to have just picked up a set of clubs and you walked right through the door and you've never swung ever in your life, I would say no, go find a swing coach or a PGA guy and learn the basics first. Now, I'll air quote that one with that. If you're somebody that's like Matt and his height, or somebody that was short that would be outside of the average, then yeah, we can take a look and do some static stuff to at least get you in the ballpark. Then go get the lesson.
Yeah.
Then go get the lesson, and then when you've got, when you could confidence is there, you don't even have to have, play 6 months or whatever, and then come on back and then do it again. Now that's the air quote, air quote. If you're a beginner, let's say you've been playing for a year, and you wanted to come in, then no, they're really not much different. The conversations certainly are different. For even when I talk with Matt, when we do something, because he's a low handicap player, the discussion is completely different because the vocabulary is completely different. In that, when you get out there and you play, Matt plays with some guys that are pretty good golfers too. So the vocabulary is like, oh, I didn't feel that shot, or oh, I didn't hit my window, and it's a feel kind of, because they've already got their swings grooved. They already know what to expect out of their clubs. So I didn't hit my shot, right? It's more in here and more here visual than it is anything else. The other end of the spectrum, it becomes extraordinarily mechanical, right? Oh, I didn't have my grip right. I didn't have my arms out. I didn't have my stance right.
Elbow.
Yeah, you got all these.
My head was in the wrong spot.
Right, all these different things until you get used to doing the golf swing, and then there's the in betweeners, the 90s, the hundreds to the 90s, right? And all of a sudden, the conversation turns to, well, if I would have hit that one shot better, or if I wouldn't have gone into the left instead of the right on this one. And you get that, and it's very less mechanical to where it becomes more course management, right? So you go from the mechanical to knowing how to get around the course to knowing how you're going to hit your shots. And that's how I break them down. But the premise is still the same, Matt. We still check for the length. We check the swing speed. We see how you're swinging the club in order to put all that stuff in between. Whew, hopefully got that one. Michael Barber's in here from the UK. All right. As Krister says, I can make a mohawk out of my beard. If I let it grow a little bit, I could pull that out. The other thing is, Krister, this dude had a beard too. He had a mohawk, 63 years old, had a mohawk, and had a beard came down and had a Scotland flag on his driver. And he says, I really like traveling over to the UK, like the Scots, like going to Ireland, all that stuff. Just likes the music, likes the environment. And at 63 years old, he's got tattoos all up and down his arms. And the last statement says, I like punk rock. And I'm like, well, you are one of a kind, brother. And the dude was an absolute treat.
Nice.
Absolute treat. All right, look at that. Kent Nicholson, Kent, he's the guy from our UK. It says, Matt in the flesh. He's looking right at him. All righty. Here you go. Kent, a day when I'm able to attend and not fall asleep or working nights. Yeah, no doubt, right? I've gotten off the night shifts, bud, so I understand completely. All right, Travis K, the New Jersey Travis K. Sun Mountain has the best customer service, great brand and a product. Do you have one or
No,
no?
I use a
You got the Ping
Ping
Hoofer.
Hoofer, yeah.
That's right. He's a carry man,
Oh,
and the
yeah.
Ping Hoofer
Mhm.
really scores high
Oh,
marks.
yes. Got one for Sally as well.
Yeah, because it sits flat. I like
Yes.
how it turns. It
Mhm.
actually does a pretty good job.
Yes, it does.
I like that one. All righty. Charles Bartholomew says we didn't have camo in the Navy, not at least when I was in. Well, neither when I was in either, bud. But they had the blue. I always told I
Blue,
did
right?
tell Sun Mountain if they ever came out with a digital blue camo, then I'd buy the bag because that was the Navy one.
Mhm.
And they had. So just as I was leaving, so Charles, you know it, and for those of you who've never been in the military, the change of the uniform is basically the signature change that somebody in charge makes to say that I made a change, and it's normally the uniform.
Yes.
And now it's not even more. It's even different now than it
Yeah.
was when the blue camo was in. So it was pretty cool. That's right. It needs to be. He says not much camouflage against being on the boat. There's not a whole lot of camouflaging to worry about, and you'd be right. There's Willard Clark. He's from your neck of the woods. He's up north.
Up Canton, I thought.
Yep, he's in. Willard's Are you done with the therapy now? After getting all that taken care of, let's hear it. All right, let's get back out here. Charles, Robin, did you get my email in the D9 Fords? I think she did. All right. Bob Moore wants to know if there's a 3-iron available in the Strixon ZX5. I don't know. I've
Probably a low degree.
less than this many times, Bob, that I've made a 3-iron in the last 15 years. That because it doesn't really come up in conversation. I'll have hopefully Mrs. McGolf she's busy. She's got a friend out there, so she's talking with Matt's wife, and so maybe she will hear. Hey, Robin, is there a 3-iron in the Strixons? We'll watch that come across. See if she's listening. If it is, Bob, we'll let you know. All right. Robin says it's going slow. I'm getting my stitches out on the 29th. Yes. Charles, can I pre-order? Yeah, I can pre-order the D9 Forges. Yes, I can. Duke, know anything about LA Golf Shafts? You ever seen them? LA Golf Shafts, I do know a little bit. They're so the guy that was the original designer for Aldila, his name was Olenberg. And why I know that is beyond stupid, but he in LA Golf Shafts was a combination of Olenberg and another guy from another shaft company, and they got together and they combined their designs and made LA Golf Shafts. Okay. And it's a very, very high-end golf shaft. This is the putter shafts that go for, I think, $300, $400. Yeah, and they're very weighted and they're very defined on what they do for the weight at the bottom and the top. I don't know necessarily about technical, but they're very, very heavy.
Like top weighted?
Much like those new ones everybody asks about the well, it's like it very much is along the lines of the Stroke Lab. Yeah. But the one that UST had that was kind of graphite at the top, bigger, and then went into there. Yeah. And then there's one more.
Adams did one too, like a.
Yeah. And then there was another one that TP, I think is what they were calling it. Mm-hmm. They did one like that, and it was an adjustable version. So there's Charles. He says, I bet Matt played from the tips too.
I hit from the funny thing was that they did not have any tee markers out. So when that ever happens, me and my buddies, we play from the signs. So wherever the signs were, that's where I teed off from. And then my wife played from, we looked at the sign and we looked at the furthest one up and she played from up there.
And that was about the right call. So the signs on this place are just about, they're right in the middle of the white tees kind of areas.
I would say it would be a white tee day.
Okay. Sunny V Golf, he's our Canadian friend, says warming up, got into the 60s this weekend, back into the 40s, but it's warming up.
Nice.
What are you guys seeing a trend in the weather going back? I heard we were going to go down here. It's trending to the south this weekend. I mean, it's going to get cold.
I saw rain for us because I'm actually on my spring break this week. That's why we got to come down here today.
Ah,
And this was the only day that did not have rain in, but I did not see anything cold in terms of where we're at in the Cleveland area.
Okay. I think we're supposed to be like this all the way through Friday.
Yeah.
And then Saturday just turns to junk.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, man, great, thanks. Okay, so Charles shot 40 on the front and 44 on the back.
Nice job.
Dembunga, he's a guy, I think he's Minnesotian, but he says, hey, all. Krister says, where I live, the courses will open mid to the end of April.
Okay.
You know, and Krister, sometimes depending on the weather around here, you might see some of the same thing because of the you have a lot of clay up north, or is it soil?
A lot of more shale. We get a lot of,
So we have a lot of clay, and it just holds on to it, and it
Yeah.
gets soggy, and so we could get to that too. All right. Oh, here we go. We get lagged and loaded. Lagged and loaded has got a logo of a coffee cup with an AR on it, with a golf ball spinning around it.
Nice.
That's nice. 17 handicap, struggling a lot with the driver, slicing it. Better take a lesson first, then a fitting, or a fitting, then a lesson.
Lesson in the fitting.
There you go. He's all about the lesson in the fitting. And if you have a real mechanical, if your buddies are telling you that, hey, you're really doing something off, and it's a real mechanical issue, then for certain, right? Go get the lesson. If nobody's going, man, if the conversation swings to, man, I don't know why you're swinging like that. I don't know why it's doing what it's doing because your swing looks good.
Yeah.
Then maybe the fitting first. But most slices, I mean, and if you're always slicing, that's probably mechanically related, and see the lesson. It's pretty bad if fitter's going to tell you go get a lesson first, but it's the truth. All right. Here's Krister. How do you know what length of putter a player would have? I play most of the time at 34, but read that my height, it should be 34 and a half. So Krister, a lot of what goes on is stance, right? And how you approach that. You could, like Matt, if he was to stand up straight, I'd have to give him a broomstick, right? But if you bend over quite a bit, even at his height, he might be able to use a 34-inch putter, depending on how much he bends over or does the squat for the knees, those kinds of things. There's all kinds.
Yeah.
Oh, as a matter of fact, the guy with the mohawk, he was a side saddle putter.
Really?
Yeah. He says, "Oh, you never seen that before." Wrong answer, buddy.
Yeah.
I got it one. I even got him into a putter.
Really?
Yeah.
Side saddle or
Yep, side saddle. Turns out what we did is I took the arm lock putter, that last arm lock putter I had. It's the tallest arm lock putter, and I bent it flat because it's already
up,
It's already forward pressed, right, for the arm lock. It's already forward pressed for the arm lock. So all I did was flatten it so that it would lay flat. So when he's sideways, it would and he was able to use, it was the 2-ball line, so he was able to line it up, and he was just dropping them like they were free.
Grip going that way, like.
Yeah, no, it was still going for.
Oh.
It was still the flat was facing the target.
Okay.
Now I've had guys turn it 90 degrees so that they could hold on to a little bit better and then push with it.
Because you can't put it here anymore, right?
Nope, you got to hold it out in front of you, right out here.
Yeah.
And so he was quite pleased with that. But Krister, the idea is two things: how you stand to the ball, and then where your eye line is with the ball. And there's no guarantee that if your eyes are directly over top of the ball that you're going to see the line, particularly for guys that wear glasses. But it's anywhere over the line to just inside the line, not over the line.
I'm an inside the guy.
Yep.
Because I went from a 35. I putted with a 35 until we went through the fitting with you. And we took your little machine and I lifted it up and it fell apart.
Yeah, you took it away.
So I'm at a 38. So.
Yep, but now all of a sudden you can see.
Yes, so I'm inside the line,
and it takes a lot of pressure off the back too.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Middle of that club face too.
There we go. Doing Golf Nut from Hornsey, UK. How are you, buddy? All right. Mike Pett came back around. He says, by new Mizuno, I was referring to the ST220. Any thoughts on that club? And thanks. The ST220, I do have one. I have hit it, or I haven't hit it because it's only right-handed right now. I don't think that it would necessarily set square because of the way that it's angled. Because you got the big, heavy, well, like this guy.
Yeah.
So what it is, it's a little bit. So we're going to use the launch pad. So how it comes out around here like this, and then all of a sudden with the black, you see how you can just almost see a whole bunch of face. That's the way that one comes off because that Mizuno club is so black and shiny.
Yeah.
So black. So every little detail
yeah.
comes out, and you can see it, and it almost looks like it's closed, even if it's not. All righty. Wet courses, no fun at all. Michael Barber says, I have a moderate swing speed. What is going to benefit me better, steel or graphite in my irons? More to it than that.
Yeah.
More to it than that. So, Michael, if you're moderate swing speed, if you're in the middle, lightweight steel can do you just as good as a lighter weight graphite. The couple of things, number one, if you're an aggressive moderate swing speed, then I would go slightly heavier, which takes you kind of into the steel. If you were a smoother, kind of what the term is syrupy kind of swing, then I would go with graphite and go a little bit lighter. And that's just from a weight perspective. Graphite, I think, gets a bad note because, it's for old guys, right? It's for old guys. And it's not. It really, really is not. It's there is some high quality stuff out there, right? And the steel can only just get so low. Mm-hmm. And right at that, because right now 90 was the sweet spot. You see some companies getting into the 80s, 85, and that's okay. But what happens is that if you're an aggressive guy, you will not like that steel because the butt section is so soft. You'll hit these high fly balls, and you wonder when's it going to come down. Where an 85 gram shaft in graphite, the way that they can marry the profile up, they can make it stiff as a board, and you can barely get it off the ground. So but Michael, for real, if you're aggressive or hard late release, I would look at the steel. Oh, and if you have any joint pain, right, any hand pain, then I would go into graphite, as it's a tremendous shock absorber. All right. Here's Brandon Brown from Ireland.
Awesome.
Evening from Ireland. Tried the Las Vegas putter. Love the looks and the setup. Been in it going for the 2K. Love the weight and feel. Arrives in 2 days. Dude, I'm telling you, that 5K is a winner. I mean, it really is. It felt a little heavier, didn't it? And the MOI on the putter is just, they call it 5K because the MOI is in the 5,000 range, geez. Which is really, really heavy. Yeah. So, and then Kent's asking our other fellow if he's playing at Hornsey. Here we go. Scott Sandrin, since posting season is now open for us in Ohio Valley, are you then playing the ball down or a bit fluffy line now and then? What's going on? How do you play it?
Like I played Saturday, Sunday, and then today. I played it down today because it was dry. But the other 2 days, because we had so much mud, we just lift clean in place with the guys that I play with. But we're pretty much we're not really sticklers in there in terms of Right. It's usually if there's mud on the ball, we don't want you to hit one into wherever you would be able to find it.
Yeah, watch it go spinning off into the plant.
Yeah, so we don't get a lot of practice with those mud balls, but
okay. I think that's probably when Bob and I play, it's pretty much we don't mess around necessarily with it unless it's in some kind of gross setup, and then you just give yourself a little bit of relief because we're just playing golf. Yeah. We go on vacation, it's and we're playing in a foreign course, and it's sitting right close to the junk. We'll probably push it, but in some cases, if we're and he and I have both done this, is just like we hit it into this penal kind of area, and we're just like being mad at ourselves for letting it go there. We'll just hit it right out of there anyway, just for taking the penalty for being
Yeah.
stupid. But so kind of a little bit better either way, Scott.
Mhm.
The other one is I had a guy here that plays at the golf course. I keep want to call it Salt Lick, but it's not Salt Lick.
South Fork.
No, it's in Batavia, and it is extraordinarily
Okay.
Stone Lick.
Stone Lick.
Yeah, I call it Salt Lick for some reason, but it's Stone Lick, and it's an extraordinarily nice course.
I've heard of it.
It's got the 18th green is just like the 17th at Sawgrass.
Okay.
And you come into it, and you're about 2 shots, and then you either take the long ball and you throw it on,
Mhm.
or you take and then you put it up in. But it's beautiful course. All right. Ken's saying good luck on the 29th. And Kent is saying that stunning at the Hornsea. All right. LA putters are $1,500. Well, if that's the whole the LA Golf Labs. I'm sorry. Oh yeah.
The shaft.
Not just the shaft, but the putter. Have you seen those where the face
I've
balance?
not seen one.
The first one, they call it a branding iron because it's got a big long face. It comes in, and then a big round horn on the back, and it's almost center shafted. And what it does is if this was the playing face, it balances like that.
Okay.
Normally you have a face balance and you have the toe dangle.
Yeah.
His is straight up and down. So
Okay.
in line, it swings with the target.
Is it like what Ernie Els was using?
Yes.
Okay,
much.
then I know exactly what you're talking about.
Now they've come out with this thing called a Mesa, I think, or a Mesa 2. Anyway, it's more about lie angle than it is about face angle. And they're charging a lot for all of that that's going on.
That's a great question.
Yep.
Importance of lie angle in a putter.
It is pretty important.
Mm-hmm.
And look at that damn bug. It said Duluth, Minnesota. Indeed. I was right. If up here and have an open invite to play at the club on the house. Well, I appreciate that, sir. Thank you much. So where's the nicest place in Ohio you've ever played? Or what do you think? Or both, what's the nicest place in Ohio to play?
Oh, you can't go wrong with the history and everything that Firestone Country Club has. And I've got to play at the South.
Did you know?
Yes, we played it from the tips, so and that was a good 82. So I had an 82 from the tips. Other than that, being with where I grew up in the game of golf, I got a lot of opportunity to play most of the private courses around the Cleveland area. Canterbury, which is a huge, a very, very well respected club up there. All the other ones in the west side of the town and all of that, but I would have to say Firestone is that because they had all those years that the NEC World Series of Golf was there, the Bridgestone Invitational every year, the Tiger won, so that always makes it a little bit more special in that case. But Firestone would be my answer.
I was actually on a tour trailer up there for the NEC once. Mm-hmm. For a weekend or for the week prior to the weekend. Yeah. Man, I tell you what, that's
a cool area.
The chipping area is as nice as any place I've ever seen in my life. Yes. And it wasn't, we got to play there's the south, the north, and then
east.
Was it east or west? They were putting on the west. But anyway, we played the north course.
Yes.
We played opposite.
Mm-hmm. Water. Yeah.
Oh my God, there was water everywhere.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was pretty nice. What about, have you ever been to the western side of the state?
I've played golf in Toledo. We've played at Maumee Bay. We've played a few other courses out there. There's a really nice semi-private one in Bowling Green. I can't think of the name off the top of my head.
Have you made it to Cincinnati?
Yeah, we played last year.
CPC in Cincinnati?
Did not play there. I forgot where.
Riverside or Riverbend or something like that?
Yeah. But yeah, I need to get down here more to play.
There's some nice ones down there.
Yeah.
The other one is I'd like to go where the memorial's at, but you better know somebody
Dublin,
there, man.
Yes.
You get into Dublin, that would be
Village,
very cool.
Yes.
All right. Let's see. Charles is talking to Duke. He says, "Did you see who they had to pay to make that advertisement?" Oh, yeah. Okay. Ray Farrell, he's got the POWMIA sticker on there. Says, hello all. I had a question about soft grips, but I took too long to get formed in my mind and forgot what it was. Mid 80s in the SoCal area.
Oh, lucky.
Tomorrow. Have a great day.
Mhm.
Well, let's take off with that, Ray. So, what do you think? Are you a soft grip guy or no?
With these Jumbo Max, would you consider Jumbo Max a soft grip? I don't, because I went from the Golf Pride Jumbo to those Jumbo Max, and I totally just feeling it more in the hands. So, but I would say
think that's size related,
yeah.
though.
Yeah, it was more of a composite, I would say,
Yeah.
the Jumbo Max.
So the soft grips are a function of an underlisting with
Yeah.
a wrap with a synthetic wrap around it.
like the old one.
And although Jumbo Max does that, the underlisting provides the firmness, and then the synthetic that goes around it,
Mhm.
you can make that softer. And I think Jumbo Max has kind of failed to the firmer,
Yeah,
right? And
Mhm.
where Win
was very soft when it first
got to
came
the
out.
soft,
Yes.
right? And they did
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But as a whole, Ray, the thing that most of the questions I get is how long does it last? If you're playing a lot of golf like Matt's going to be
Yes.
playing, you're going to wear the thing out in
Yes.
no time flat.
Mhm.
And it's only because the material moves,
Yeah.
right? The material moves and it gives when it moves. Whereas a regular rubber will last longer, and
Mhm.
then the corded grip will last longer still, just because there's all that resistance to trying to get you to do stuff. All right. Ray, here's Ken. I feel your pain. Old age is on him too. Here's Darren. Darren, you put a hazardous green smoke in my driver for me, and it's a beauty. Hammering 5 to 7 yards better. Cuts and can't miss left. Very cool. This would be the same shaft in my 5 wood. Traditionally, Darren, what it would be is you would want to go about 10 grams heavier. This is tradition. 10 grams heavier in that, and then trim it just a little bit less than you would normally. And then you would be better off. You would be better to go that direction. Now, saying that, the hazardous green smoke, what we've been told from the Acura point of view, and this just came in not too long ago, that the Tour Z, the TZ models, the TZ5, TZ6,
Okay.
the thing that they didn't have for a couple of years is they didn't have a following fairway wood. And now they do. And I could talk to them and figure out which one. But if you're doing it up there, Darren, then yeah, I just go 10 grams heavier, same flex, just trim it a little bit less than what 5 wood be.
Mhm.
Then you'd be good to go. All righty. How much does shaft profile change ball flight? Ooh, here's a good one. What do you think? Does it or does it not?
This is your expertise on that one. I would say yes, but
And you'd be right.
Yeah.
The big thing that they always talk about is how does the shaft impact spin?
yes.
That's a much harder answer.
Mhm.
But how does shaft profile change ball flight? So it's a couple of things, P. The weight, okay, will drive profile. So the lighter it is, you can't get it as nearly as stiff as one would have, say, if it was much heavier, by the mere fact that there's just more stuff on the shaft.
Yeah.
Right? That's just the way it is. And so when you do that, some will say if you have a softer butt but a stiffer tip section, it can kick depending on how you release it, giving you a higher ball flight. The other school of thought is that if you have a flexible tip and it's allowed to kick it a little bit, it would add a little loft and get you up in the air.
Yeah.
That is if you're a very late releaser. The other one if you're an early releaser, you want the softer butt. That's kind of where that kind of goes. But yeah, it can, right? And the shaft weight can also aid in that. You might find, and it's again, golf is a tremendous game of opposites. You think, well, if I have this heavy shaft, that I'm going to hit the ball low. But if you hit the heavy shaft and you're an early releaser, you're going to kick it forward that much more, and you're going to hit it higher. Where the lighter shaft, you're going to come down, you're going to release right at the ball, and it's going to hit this stinger. That's for one kind of golfer. Another kind of golfer, it could just be the exact opposite. So again, here's where I start talking about go get fit.
That's what I was just about to say.
Go get a fitting. All right, Mickelson to miss his first Masters. What do you think? He's been.
I did not hear that. Did that just come out today?
Krister is saying that in a comment.
Okay.
So what do you think?
Not surprised, number one. But that's a unique situation. I'm sure the Masters is very happy that that decision was made, if that's what happened.
Yeah,
So
not to have all that drama.
Yes.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. So, okay, let's take that a little bit there. What about the LIV tournament thing? Where you at with that one?
The Saudi,
Yeah,
that whole
they call
thing.
it I don't know what it stands for, but it's LIV.
Yeah. I was listening to another podcast, and Greg Norman was on it because he was doing his rounds to go through that. I still don't understand why they are a threat to the PGA Tour if they're saying, well, we can't have our guys go over there and play in all 8 events. But I also see just the whole notion of they're independent contractors. Should they be able to play wherever they want in the world? Yes. But I'm not a professional golfer, so I would not know how that works in terms of sponsorship money, in terms of what's expectations for them and everything else. But
I think I think a lot of I think we'd all make a much better decision if we had way more information.
Yeah.
What we're doing is we're getting a lot of opinions on a lot of. So you have to, you're paying, as I understand it, to the tour. You're paying money to be able to play on the tour, and then because of that money you're paying, then you get all these advantages into these tournaments that you get into with ginormous payouts.
Yes.
That's just a tip of the iceberg of what goes on behind the scenes out there. And these guys are just throwing it out there that you come play, you're guaranteed to make.
Because you're talking about name, image, and likeness. You're talking about so much.
But what you're also talking about is the amount of money you could walk away with would set you for life.
Yeah.
I mean, you could come away if you're, and that's their argument. That's the PGA guy's argument. Mm-hmm. Let's say you're in your 40s and your career's on a decline.
Yeah.
And you're looking to take care of your family, and you can walk away with $7 million. For playing eight games, $7 million, you're done.
Yeah.
Is
that the player that Is that the player that Greg Norman wants? Is the question.
Well, there's the other side of that argument, right? Yeah. And that's could you get somebody? Yeah. Could you get somebody like that? Of course, they want to take the best talent because that's going to draw the most people. Yeah. Blah blah blah. But the guy that's throwing money at it has like a money well, and so that may not be a factor. But again, there's all these different things to look at to see whether you like it or not. Mm-hmm. Bottom line is, if it's a rule you can't, then you got to take whether or not you're going to take the chances on that money or not. Yeah. That's what it comes down to. All right. KB21 says, have you tested the PXG Irons Gen 4? What are your thoughts on irons having adjustable weights in the head? And hello from Japan. Wow. Well, thank you for coming on, getting on.
It's a Tuesday there, right?
Yeah. Well done, and thank you. No, we have not tested a Gen 4. I don't know if Gen 4 make it over here yet.
I don't think so.
I think Gen 3 for sure. I have seen a Gen 3.
Yeah.
I don't know about Gen 4. Adjustable weights in the head. If you're wanting to fine tune the club, I'm all for it. I'm absolutely all for it. You'd be surprised how many there were. An adjustable weight in the head is a 90s technology. In fact, I've got some behind me that have a weight in them that I've never removed. And but if you can, that last little bit of tweak could be the weight adjustment. Yeah, I'm all about it. It seems that from the first generation now, the first ones were just so soft, and they were easy to bend while you're playing. And now they've got that part figured out, and the looks are really good. Their styling is getting better. It's just I don't know what the next model generation is going to put into us. All right, Darren's not going to miss Phil. He says, yes, Opens at Hornsea is a great value course, always in good condition, proper test golf, and it's a hidden gem. Well, there you go. One to put on your list if you're going to the UK. All right. Duke says, yes, I did get it. It won't be this guy. Oh, he's talking about the lab putter being $1,500.
Oh yeah.
And he says, no, I won't be buying it. Yeah, that'd be a hard one to pull the trigger on right there. Kent says that that same place is a really nice track. James Hodges. He's from over in the UK. All right. Also looking for a soft ball feel. Any recommendations? Which one do you play?
Chrome Soft.
Chrome Soft. It depends on how soft you want the soft ball there, Michael. Let's see. I do like the Chrome Soft, and the new one is supposed to be even better. And the reps are telling me it's 4 to 5 yards longer.
It's always 4 to 5.
Yeah, 4 to 5 yards longer. And what they did is it's the same golf ball. They just firmed it up.
Okay.
And
same feel off the
for that I am being extraordinarily simplified in the description, but that's what it is. The LX ball, the Max LS ball, is also in the same category.
That's what you use, right?
Yep, I use that one. But from a soft ball perspective, Michael, if you're looking like Callaway Super Softs, I like the Wilson Duo Pluses. That's always another good one. Srixon Soft Feels tend to play very, very well.
XV Star, is that the soft one that they have for Srixon?
The new one, probably.
Yeah, that's the one, the multicolor one.
Yep.
Yeah.
They've got those. Bridgestone had one.
Yeah.
But they went from it to the E12, but the E6 is still in the front.
Yeah.
So the E6 would probably be a good one. Those, if I started out the first in the super soft category, I'd start with the soft feels first.
Yeah.
Wilson Duo second, and then all the other ones place a really close third, in my opinion. Now, if you guys watched that video where I tested the Triad versus the staff ball, I kept calling it the professional, but it's the staff. Because the reason why I called it the professional is because a couple years ago it was called the professional, but now it's called the staff. That Triad golf ball you might want to pay attention to that. It's in testing, it did exactly what it was supposed to. It landed really tight, and I didn't miss it for very far. I mean, it was a pretty good ball. The staff ball went further. It just wasn't as concise as the other one. And we're starting to see a lot of that. You're seeing it's the first time in the history of me looking on the internet for that kind of stuff that Wilson's truly getting a little bit of love for a golf ball.
Since the 60s.
We might see some of that.
Snead.
Yep. All right. So Darren's asking me, do you trim the to fit the 5-wood, seeing that the head's not a 330 tip? My 5-wood appears to be thicker where it goes in the hosel. Darren, that's probably by design. I would think that the tip is either going to be a 335 or a 350, depending on your model. Most likely what you sent me, if it's in line with what you sent me before, it'll be a 335, and yes, you trim it. So normally what they say is you go an inch, you get it 10 grams heavier, trim off an inch, and there's your 3-wood. Unfortunately, that's not right. It's very brutally stiff when you go to do that on a driver. So what I would look to do on a 3-wood is I'd only trim it maybe a half of an inch, all right, and then put it in 3-wood. For the 5-wood, I would look at something like 3/4 first, get a feel for it when I'm putting it together, and then maximum 1 inch. Because not only is it's smaller, it's also heavier. Okay, and so it's going to weight. That weight is going to push that shaft around a little bit, and that's what we're talking about. All right, Dennis Hood. Any way to match graphite shafts to a currently played steel shaft, and would that graphite shaft be better on the joints of an older golfer?
Yes,
for certain. Can you make them the exact same? The answer to that straight up 1-to-1, no, it's not going to happen. However, if you, let's see, can I get out of the way? Can't. Yep, right behind me. If you look up in here, somewhere behind me, there's a KBS line of shafts.
Up to the left.
There they are. The KBS TGIs. They're the Tour Graphite Iron. If you are looking for something that is in a profile, say, for instance, the KBS Tour shaft in steel, right? The profiles in the TGIs are to be the same. They're just lighter. Now, does that mean they're exactly? No, because there's not as much stuff. However, the profiles try to get pretty close so that you get certain ball flights out of it. And yes, it is extraordinarily good for joints. All right. Run by meal. Still have a dozen Wilson Ultra Baladas. So Ron, you might want to just put those, tape them shut and put them in a cabinet somewhere for a display.
Yeah. Wait about 50 years when everybody's trying to look for them.
Yeah. In fact, on the we have a guy comes in, picks a range. He brings his son with him, and he pulled out one of those. It was almost the square slotted golf balls.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, and it was just totally ripped up, and I'm not even sure how it got there, but it was pretty good. Jeffrey Smith says howdy from Portland. So we got a guy in Portland. All right, we made it to the bottom.
Wow,
we made it to the freaking bottom.
That's because I wasn't putting in.
That's right. Dog golf UK's talking now, but so when we get there, so when you get ready to golf, I mean, you're always a low handicap kind of guy, so we can get a low handicap kind of response going here for the guys.
Okay.
When you get ready for the season, right? When you're getting ready for the season. Do you do anything special for getting ready for the season? And then what do you think when you first get out there? What's some of the goals when your first couple of rounds?
So my goal is to play as much as I can. The only thing that will stop me, and I've made this perfectly clear, is snow. Right. So I'll play in 20-degree weather. I don't care, even if there's ice on the greens. It just doesn't matter for me. I'm going out there to swing, and for me to get ready, it's really not about getting ready. It's about just continuing the path that we were going through. Okay. This year, I had a little longer of a layoff because I couldn't play from right around Martin Luther King Day to the ending of February because we had snow on the ground the entire time. But I'm not looking for anything. I'm just going out there trying to get the club back, trying to just hit shots that you can if you're going to try to find your center and everything like that. But most notably for me, and I don't want to sound like a infomercial for McGolf, but I come and get my loft and lies checked every single year, and that's one of the things we do in November, and we've done it for the last 3 years, and it's amazing how much they have changed in terms of that. Just sitting in the car, hitting shots off the ground, hitting shots off of mats, and everything like that. So loft and lie checks is a big thing for me. And then just continue to play. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So there it is.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So Jeffrey Smith wants to know if I mentioned TT multi-step shafts, they all have the steps in the middle. I've used them a couple of times, only when the customers asked for them, Jeffrey. Only because they've not been one that's a massive performer to the point I don't even know if True Temper is producing them this year. True Temper, KBS, FST, maybe even Apollo all decided that they cut out certain shafts out of their lineup for this year because of the supply chain. And they cut all what they would consider True Temper cut out the lower end shafts. So their TTXLs, the multi-steps, those are not going to be made. Mm-hmm. KBS went the other way and went to the C tapers. So if you got a set of C tapers and you like them, you better keep them because through this whole year, you probably won't see any new ones being made. Now, 2023, it's a whole new era, but and so you got to do that. The only people that I know that aren't struggling right this very second is Nippon. And they do have some stuff on back order. The Modus 120s are on back order, but for not very long. So it's not like they've decided to cut it off for the entire year. So that's where they're going. Oh, Dimple Spear, what's up? Tennessee's coming alive. Played Thursday, Sunday, and today. You are the man. All righty. There you go. Any advice to pick? Here we go. Any advice to pick the ball cleanly, tended to hit heavy in the winter? This is a guy in the UK, as a matter of fact.
Wow.
Yep.
You can say the old additive to play it a little bit further back in your stance. that whole idea. But the biggest thing is most of the time you're coming off of a long layoff and you're just not used to getting the timing in there. I don't know what you have found, but
It says pick the ball cleanly, tend to hit it heavy in the winter.
yeah.
So, okay. In the winter, you probably also might be wearing a few extra layers, and that could cause you to cast out a little bit earlier too, and then that might be the problem.
Yeah.
So maybe a little bit, what was it, to be kind of reverse logic. If you get a little bit closer, you get a little bit taller, and it makes you swing a little bit through it, something along that lines. All right, one more, and then we're going to get going. Here we are. Scott wants to know, do I carry the PGIs, not the TGIs? Scott, I asked for all of those for my demo package, and I still have not got them yet. But I do. The answer shortly is the answer would be no, but it will eventually find its way onto my fitting rack. You are correct. Okay, guys. So we made it to the bottom. The girls are out talking. They haven't even figured out that we're at the end of our time. So that's pretty good. That they're having fun. That's always a plus. So again, if you would like and subscribe, tomorrow, 7 o'clock in the morning, you're going to see a review on the Rogue ST Max and Max D. And I did a few things a little different on there, so you're going to want to pay attention.
Nice.
And guys, Matt, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
And as always, let's get to the point where I need to put this thing on there. And as always, guys, let's see your scores. Go low.